Let's talk about the truth about weight loss plateaus. Anyone who's been on a weight loss journey understands that they may hit a plateau, and that in fact it's fairly likely, especially the longer the weight loss regime goes for, which would affect people who are losing more weight than less. So typical kind of wisdom says that plateaus are inevitable and that they can last many months and they can be demoralizing. And all of that is true. But what I think is missing in all of this story is the fact, and again, on the basis of the incredibly scientific research that's founded on my own anecdotes as a guy undergoing a weight loss regime, is that plateaus are part of the weight loss regime. They're not a side effect or unfortunate consequence or whatever. They're actually part of the regime. So let's do a plateau, as we all know, right, is when I'm losing weight and then keeping doing what I've been doing to lose weight, and for some reason the weight loss progress stops. And it can go for many months. I've seen a lot of people talk about that. It can last a few weeks, and I treat it as a mental health emergency, a mental health crisis, because of how demoralizing and demotivating it can be. I realize now I'm 5 months into my weight loss regime, and I've changed a lot of things along the way, right? It just started out with going to the gym and increasing my activity burn, and tried to grow some muscle mass, and then it more added a carnivore diet and all that kind of stuff. And I went through the first plateau. I ramped up my cardio. Essentially, basically all I did was add a treadmill with an incline and a path going up and down, different variable speeds. That seemed to be able to break it. Second plateau, I added bench press, which I realized I probably should have been doing all the time, but bench press was, for people like me, a little bit scary, because it's one of the two resistance training exercises I do that could kill me if I fail at it. And then I realized I've had a third one, and what I did was stopped training. I cut my calorie expenditure to basically resting. I took a week off, basically. But also what I did was dramatically dropped my calorie intake. And I'm talking my calorie intake on some days was sub 600 calories. So, what is that? 9-year-old girl kind of level of calories. I wasn't hungry. I didn't go hungry because I was eating nutrition dense foods. But I spent a week doing no exercise and eating as absolute little as possible. And that snapped me out of what my third plateau was. Now, bear in mind here, right? We've got to remember a plateau. So what I'm saying here, this is my kind of claim, a plateau is your body adapting to a new normal. And the response must be, there is no new normal. We can't indicate, I can't send a message from my brain to my body saying, I'm trying to lose weight, stop becoming more efficient. I'm trying to lose weight, stop becoming more efficient in the way you expend energy. I can't send that message. All I can do, so I accept now the plateaus are going to happen, and I've had 3. Right? 2 of them were in quite quick succession. So they're going to happen. Yes, they are inevitable. That's true. Yes, they can last a long time. That's also true. Yes, they are the body adapting to a different set of circumstances, different weight, right? Different calorie intakes, different, all that stuff. From my experience, and I've said this before, the way to beat a plateau is to do something different, because doing something different tells your body there is no new normal to which you can get used actually. And this last thing I did different was just to do nothing, have a lazy week, and dramatically reduce my calorie intake. My calorie intake has been falling over time, but this was a dramatic week where I was eating like far few calories for my height and weight and age and stuff. So just think you got to get creative about how to beat a plateau. And I don't think you can do, well, from my experience, just doing the same change every time you hit a plateau, you're still creating rhythms and patterns for your body to perhaps get used to, right? And also it's not viable for everyone to just keep increasing their activity levels or whatever. And it's also not viable to keep reducing calorie intake. So keep at it. Bear in mind that plateaus are, in my experience, they're common, they happen, they are inevitable, but they're actually relatively simple to combat. You just need to send signals to your brain. So, I beg your pardon. You need to send signals from your brain to your body that there is no normal. There is nothing to which you can adapt. Things are going to change. Things are going to change in terms of energy expenditure, energy inputs. I would suggest, I don't know that you can avoid a plateau necessarily, but, it could be perhaps worth trying completely mixing up your regime, like just do different stuff on a different day or a different week, every day. Change things as often as possible so that your body never gets the message that there's a new normal, right? It'll adapt to change to accommodate for a new normal. If there is no new normal, it can't. It can't do that. So that's my quasi-scientific observation. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're following me. I'd love to hear your ideas in the comments, and I'd really, really appreciate it if people started subscribing to this channel because I'm hopefully being somewhat helpful.